live with Mikel Weisser. I believe so. It is coming up, and we are. So this is Toking Today with Mikel Weisser, and I am Chado, of course. But welcome back, Mikel Weisser. He hasn't been here.
I'm so glad to be here again.
In 3 or 4 weeks now, and there's a lot to catch up on. So I'm going to share this to a couple of groups and pages while Mikel introduces himself a little bit more. I know some of the people are familiar with him, and some people aren't. So,
for those of you who are familiar with me, it's me. For those of you who aren't, I'm the state director in Normal. I'm been that role since 2015. Work on reforming marijuana laws at all levels, including city, state, federal. I'm staff on this legalization campaign right in here, and that's really become the main focus of my work this last month. In fact, today, if you look at the normalinarizona.org webpage, we announced...
Which we can bring up in just a moment.
Oh, yeah, there it is over
there.
there.
So I don't want to get our stream starting soon over there. We're just jumping right into it, but... yes, we do have it available if you want to walk us through it now, or do you want to talk a little bit more?
Oh, let's talk a little bit more since I saw that it just said stream
Yeah.
starting.
I was trying to get some people in here.
Folks, sorry,
yeah, I just let you introduce yourself while we
yeah.
gather.
Well, it's look, all those hand gesticulations. It's definitely me.
Yeah, it's definitely Mikel Weisser live. You can't beat that.
I see why I wear a hat.
The light adds a few extra hairs out of place.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, Mikel, you just became say that again without showing the website. We'll keep that a secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of this month on Halloween, I'm leaving writing for Arizona Cannabis News full time, so I can work full time on the smart and safe Arizona legalization campaign.
So no more deadlines, but you're going to be out there working for the signatures, making sure that the campaign is going smoothly. Are you not going to be collecting signatures though yourself?
Well,
I'm
collecting.
On the front line, are you?
I collect signatures here and there, not as a paid signature gatherer, but in my volunteer capacity with the signaturing. It's a fantastic way to go into these small towns and find out who's interested in working on cannabis reform, themselves, instead of just me popping in. I've gone to a dozen or so cities since the beginning of October when we started this. I don't know if you guys can see the list, but that's a list of all the different people who have volunteered. Wait, try it over this way.
Wow.
That way.
There you are.
Yeah. All these people who have volunteered to start collecting signatures around the state.
These are people who just came to you personally, not that you've got a list from somewhere else. These are the people who walked up to you and said, hey, I want to be a part of this.
Yes. So I will go to, like yesterday, I was in front of Frontier Tobacco in Wickenburg. It's down by the Bash's Ace Hardware Mall. If you would call Wickenburg having a mall. So it's there.
Was it a strip mall or was it indoors?
It's a strip mall.
Oh, okay. That's
and
not a mall.
Set up my sign that says this one here. Sign here to legalize.
It's not even in camera now. You get it. There you go.
Sign here to legalize the Arizona Normal logo there.
Yeah.
And in an hour, a dozen people came up.
Just wanted to be a part of the legalization.
Right.
That is fucking amazing, dude.
It is. I was in Kingman over the weekend because, I live in Mojave County, and we went grocery shopping one day, and another day I got my oil changed. And between those two trips to town, I got 105 signatures.
Wow. That is pretty amazing. 105 just in Kingman, though. I mean, you're talking like out there where there's not a lot of legalization, not a lot of cannabis talk. You're talking older folks who are rural, who are set in their ways.
Talking rural, by the way, folks. You guys should know that the Herbal Rising studios are like, you could throw a stone into Pinal County. Maybe with a good wind, or more likely a frisbee or arrow.
I say it's Mesa.
Not a lawn dart.
The address says it's Mesa, but when people get out here, that's not fucking Mesa.
It may be Mesa on this side of the road, but anyway. The point is that there's so many places outside the kingdom of Maricopa. They say it's about 40% of the population doesn't live in Maricopa County. And I know what it feels like to be out in the country. My home is 7 miles from Kingman, and it's 5 houses from pavement. And, like 3 houses down the road, they got a truck in their own water. I know what it's like to live out in those kinds of
But
places.
you have your own water. You have indoor plumbing.
We have indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go over 2 more washes and
Then it gets really bad. So you talk about
yeah.
me being rural, but you're on the edge. You're on the opposite edge.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even walk across half of my yard. It's a gorge.
But you got the lights from Vegas keeping you up at night.
We
right?
do see them, yeah.
Yeah.
I also see the lights from Laughlin, Nevada, because
That's a little bit closer.
yeah, it's about 15 miles across Golden Valley to the Black Mountains, which are the mountains on the like on the coast of Arizona. If you think of the Colorado River as coastline, yeah, really love it out there. But it's only one of the places I'm visiting. I got like a year and a week.
Yeah.
To get this right.
And then it's go time, huh?
Well, no, it's good. Then it's all the marbles by
Right.
then. If I don't have if we don't have the votes, then it's another couple of years of.
So how many couple of weeks? What do you mean by a couple of weeks?
So a year. So
you have
this
52
first
weeks.
Tuesday of November
And then
is a year from the election.
right. But when do you have to have it filed by?
Well, they filed it on the 26th of September. They started collecting signatures the 29th of September.
Okay.
They have until like June 29th or 30th, the last week of June.
So it's like 9 months to collect.
Right, which is caused them to do a really major paid signature gathering campaign that's being
How
run
many
by
do you
petition
need?
partners.
How many signatures do you need to get on the ballot?
The minimum number you have to have is 237,000.
Wow. So you have to have 237,000 signatures in 9 months just to even get people interested in legalization.
That's
and
true.
then the campaign really starts.
Yeah, that's a way of looking at it. But by the time you get out to all the places where you've talked to that many people, you've done a lot of campaigning.
Right.
You know, one-on-one. Here's how that figure works. The number of signatures required is 10% of the number of votes cast in the previous gubernatorial election.
Oh, okay.
So about 2.37 million were cast in the last election. You know.
I gotcha. So if you wait till a presidential election, is it even higher?
It would be, but that's not the way that the formula works. It's tied to the governor thing.
Oh, okay. So it's a state level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this campaign is going to look for probably about 350 what they call validated signatures. So, you know, you go out and you ask somebody, do they want to sign? And yeah, I sure do. And some of them just want to sign so bad, whether they're registered or not. They just sign. Hey, tell me my address. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I appreciate their support, but those kind of get thrown out or weeded out.
Now,
so that's why they need so many.
Can they throw out a whole petition if you have a bad signature on it, or do they just cross out the signature?
The company, petition partner, or the signature gatherer themselves will probably cross out any mistakes that they know are there.
Okay.
Like if I'm watching somebody sign and they write Mickey Mouse instead of a name or whatever.
Right.
Just go ahead and put a line all the way across that, and we'll skip down the next line. One of the things that happens often is that people are so enthusiastic to sign that if they live in, say, Pinal County,
They'll sign the wrong one.
They'll sign the wrong county, right?
I got
So
you.
each county is supposed to have its own petition.
So if you
page.
want legalization, make sure you're signing the right petition for legalization.
Right.
Make sure you're in the right county. Make sure you put your mailing address that is registered to vote. That's the mailing address you have to have
right,
on file.
not the PO, yeah.
Right. Then also you have to be a registered voter.
Yeah.
No felons, nothing like that. You can't, right?
Right. There are people who have been able to get their voting rights back here in Arizona.
Okay.
If you have one felony, you simply have to apply when you're released from prison. If you have two, it's a hearing. 3 becomes problematic, and so on.
Oh, wow. Okay,
But,
so you can get by with a couple of felonies and still be able to vote.
Right.
Okay.
And this may be the kind of thing that matters to people like other issues
That
haven't ever
have
mattered before.
marijuana felonies that they shouldn't have in the first place.
Well, this initiative includes an elaborate expungement section where people who have been convicted of smaller marijuana offenses, say like 2.5 ounces or less, or growing a plant or that sort of thing, can have their record not just set aside, but sealed and taken out of the discussion. So
That's what the new legalization that you're passing
that's
now.
what we're working on right here.
So
yeah.
that will actually expunge those people who have had less than 2.5 ounces arrested.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So
Our friend Dave Wisniewski, you know, he started his adult life facing 3 felony charges before he was even out of high school.
I think we've
this could
tried
clean
to
up something like that.
I think we try to say that, but I don't know if we said it as articulate as we just did there. So it's very important that they understand that this has a 2.5 ounce expungement written into it. That if you were arrested and charged with a felony, the new legalization law, if it's under 2.5 ounces, you can get that felony expunged. Is what you were.
That is exactly what I'm saying here.
Finally, we got it through, people. There it is. It's not all expungement. If it's 2.75 ounces, you're fucked.
Right.
But if it's 2.5 and under, you can get help.
Right, and this initiative says something that I don't usually see in language. It offers the ability to change the initiative in the future without having to get the 3/4 vote that's been problematic for amending that Arizona Medical Marijuana Act. You know, we started trying to do positive stuff on the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act in 2013, and it took till 2019 to pass any substantive changes. That's the 2-year cards and the testing thing.
So now what you're saying is it's going to be easier to change this law. Is it easier for the citizens, or is it easier for the lawmakers, or is it easier for both?
It's easier for the lawmakers.
Okay.
This allows different examples of changes that would be considered furthering the act, and so not require the 3/4.
So as long as it furthers the act,
Right.
not takes away from it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
And
they can't vote or they can't change it to take to worsen the act. They only
Right.
can change it to better the act.
And here in Arizona, you know, we fought that kind of motherfucking bullshit for this whole decade
Yeah.
of them trying to come up with some way to make the program worse instead of better.
Right. Yeah, they started put those little things in there like the 25-mile rule. Now concentrates might be an issue. Edibles, stems, seeds. What are we talking about? Useful. A lot of things that weren't defined tend to start coming up after the fact. And I see that you guys have learned from those issues. And
There was efforts to see. One year there was an effort to make pregnancy a disqualifying condition.
Wow.
At the time, that would have affected 47,000 female medical card patients that were childbearing age, because all of them, you know, if you're childbearing age, unless you're proven sterile, you're at risk of pregnancy.
Right.
So you don't get a card.
Wow. So that's just straight up discriminating females.
Right. Another
in
year,
general, yeah.
they tried to make it illegal to have cultivation, either personal or commercial, that was in a greenhouse.
Huh. Interesting. So you had to be
Yeah.
indoors only was the idea?
Right, right. And what if some child should see the marijuana through the roof? You know, some bullshit like that.
But it's
So-
a green plant. I mean, it's
Right.
yeah.
It's I'm just saying that
Yeah,
that is
that's
the
so-
extremity that
wow.
that we have fought off over this
Yeah.
this last decade. It's so exciting to have at least a semblance of a rational legislature this last year passing these bills that that modified the Marijuana Act in such a way. And of note, it had the provision which is called legislative intent, which says that if this smart and safe legalization should pass, there it is, like
the red
that.
square,
It's
yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
If smart and safe legalization should pass, then the new adult use program would have to face the same testing standards as
Right.
the medical
Right.
program.
That's awesome. So whatever testing standards are in place now for the medical program is going to be required for the legalization program minimum.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's funny because I was in a dispensary this last weekend, and one of the bud tenders was talking about how, she didn't want legalization because the quality of marijuana was going to go down.
Sorry.
And the prices were going to go up. And I
So
said,
quality's going to go down, prices are going to go up.
and I said, so
And-
your boss is going to do that to us? Isn't that him, not me?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's, he wouldn't do that. So why do you think other people would?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a consumer market no matter what, especially when you have only so many licenses available. It's going to be consumer driven. If there's 130 licenses, they're going to not go to the ones who aren't good. They're going to choose the ones who are.
Right.
And
People will shop according to their taste.
Yeah,
It's funny.
you have to
because-
appease the consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm been just a dirt poor marijuana smoker, and who's got the cheapest flower?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you got to pick out the stems.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, the cheapest flower tends to be popcorn seeds or popcorn buds for me. So there's not very many stems in those.
Right. I am happy with this week. I got some flour in Phoenix, and the $65 ounce was popcorn.
Yeah. Those are pretty good. Where was the $65 ounce at?
That's at Seoul, either the east or the west.
I haven't been by Seoul. Are they pretty good flour there?
I really like the personnel at to your question, they're pretty good about the flour,
But the staff is good too, though.
It's from Copper State.
Okay.
So
Ryan Hurley's gonna be a guest. We had him. He was looking at the 30th, but we have another guest booked for the 30th, so we're looking at the first now. So that'd be a good.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Ryan Hurley, he is a wealth of information. He was one of the first people to inspire me to try to do more than just stare at marijuana policy when I was like young and barely in safe Arizona. What the hell do we do?
Well, that's cool. Yeah, he's been a big influence on the state, and now he's with Copper State, and I think it'd be a pretty good interview. Now that we now we're in this interview a little bit, let's bring up the normal.
Oh yeah.
So this is normalinarizona.org.
Right.
No A, just
right. The title of the article says ACN editor / AZ normal director to join legalization campaign full time.
Nice. So that's official.
A lot of title.
But you were chief editor on Cannabis Monthly, Arizona Cannabis Monthly.
Right. Folks, it's okay if you're confused on what to call it because the name has changed 3 times since I've been there. Right. Okay. Yeah. Currently it's AZ Cannabis News.
Okay.
It's got a lot of the same staff working there. I've moved on because I'm actually like the director of Normal from the beginning.
Right. That's where your heart is.
Right. Yeah. Normal does not provide me with funding, so I've been doing things to hang around. I worked for you. I worked for a dispensary. I worked for a grow. I've done writing for websites on marijuana twice.
Right.
But it's all just to keep afloat till I can get back to the campaign.
Well, writing's a passion, and if you get paid for it, why not try it? Right?
Yeah.
Try to get paid for it.
Yeah, but I went from being a school teacher and a political writer and activist. Mm-hmm. You know, I was out on the street corner, impeach W, where's the weapons of mass destruction? That kind of stuff. Going back to the 90s. And this decade, I decided, it was time to move past the theory and the rhetoric and actually take on real politics. And that's what we've done this decade. My wife and I have devoted ourselves to making this change. She started as a candidate in 2010. So, yeah, by this time in 2009, we're headed off the cliff, if not already in the fall.
So your wife's in politics. You're in politics.
Yes.
How is that at home?
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Because I'm not home very much.
So that keeps the views apart.
Well, we're aligned politically. Actually, that's what caused us to be able to go this far with it. Awesome. In 2007, when we were young marrieds or newly marrieds, I guess, in our 40s, we aligned so much that she said, "Michael, you should go to Washington D.C. and join an anti-war protest."
Wow.
So I did, and when I was there, I met the group Code Pink, and there you go, folks. That's where all this stuff comes from. Right?
What is Code Pink?
Code Pink is a women-centered anti-war organization led by a woman named Medea Benjamin.
So your wife sent you to Washington, D.C., and you end up with a bunch of women surrounding you.
It's been heaven ever since.
All right.
I tell you, I really like women, and I
Me too.
like fighting. Yeah, I like fighting against war. I like peace, but there's a difference between thinking about peace and being anti-war.
Right.
The second one is actually it requires effort. It's not passive. It's assertive. Anti-war, stopping.
You can't
violence.
be peaceful, stopping violence, huh?
I don't think you might be able to demonstrate noble sacrifice, and that'll free you to the glories of God. But what about the people who just lost you, right?
Yeah.
This world. Maybe have you ever seen the movie Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Yeah.
At the very end of the movie, one of the central bad guys gets overcome by guilt and gives the whole thing away.
Right.
That doesn't happen this century.
No.
No.
So nobody gets overcome with guilt at all anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's for one thing.
You have to be ready to stand up if you want no war. And it's the same with this legalization.
Yeah.
People have been calling for legalization since the 70s. Normal started in 1970.
Right.
And it really was until folks who were ready to put themselves on the line
that
we started getting to actual change.
Yeah.
Right. You talk to the older normal people, and there's like this guy that smuggled marijuana and this guy that went to jail for 15 years. That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
Damn. You
Yeah.
know, I'm glad that I just have to deal with politicians and social media.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things. People get life sentences, like in Oklahoma, for a joint. You know, I mean, these are actual stories. And then now Oklahoma has medical marijuana. They have more dispensaries on every corner than I've seen in many states.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I was, I've said this story many times. When I first smoked, I was a teen runaway. It was like October 5th, 1977, and my ride got me high, and then he got arrested right there in front of me while I'm like on my first get high thing.
Yeah.
So at that time in Texas, just a pinch was all it took to get a felony.
Yeah.
And it could be 10 years. I mean, sure, they wouldn't adjudicate a pinch for 10 years, but it was jail time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do. That's the thing. They do put those people away for that many years, and it's first time offenders. You know, I mean, it's so freaking crazy. If they have the space, they'll put you in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let me note that it doesn't. It's not just getting prison time that ruins your life.
It's a life sentence.
Yeah. So in '84, I had a DUI with marijuana. I was sober on alcohol.
Yeah.
They found marijuana in my car. They said, let's make this a DUI instead of a marijuana possession, because we're supposed to be cracking down on DUIs.
Right.
So
it's more money in DUI too.
At the time, I thought, woohoo, dodge that bullet. But then in 2000, I was back in Texas looking for work, and the marijuana part came up on my DUI suddenly, where it had been like set aside or expunged or adjudicated. Boom. I couldn't get a teaching license in Texas.
Wow.
Like that.
Because you had weed in the car.
Because I had weed in the car, and because somebody opened the sealed part of my record.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. The records are never sealed.
Right. I guess not.
When you're talking, teaching and becoming a pilot or any of that stuff, they're gonna look far back, and if you have that marijuana on there, it's gonna be a problem for the rest of your life. So that's the great thing about this legalization effort.
Yeah.
Stop it before it happens.
Right.
An ounce. Walk around with an ounce. I mean, if you're going to a music festival, team up with a couple buddies, carry a couple ounces with you.
Right.
But you're not gonna need that much to hang out. Do what you need.
I think one of the things that people forget, like I've now lived with a medical card in Phoenix Metro. If you circulate amongst the community, you're like in marijuana land.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there's weed or something to eat that's got weed in it.
Yeah.
So, that was never ever possible.
Yeah.
And our community, I believe, is finding out that there is a limit.
Right.
No, you can only dab 1.5 grams so many times before your nose hurts.
Yeah. There's
Right?
there's definitely a personal limit,
Yeah.
to everybody. I mean, I'm watching the Earl Cup, the dab wars and stuff. It's great to see it, but at a certain point, even if you're not passing out, your body's not absorbing it.
Right.
You're not. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things about marijuana that first really inspired me as a young smoker when I was, after I had been run away and came back and was living with my sister. I said, I'm going to find out what it's like to smoke too much weed.
Yeah.
And so I rolled up 5 joints.
You found out what it's like to spend too much on weed.
Well, no, this was back in the 70s in Texas, where marijuana was really cheap up until the 80s down there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
now that you talk about on the border, these are bales of weed just dropping in, coming over, people picking them up, type of weed.
Yes. I have actually ridden out in the dark with people who
thought
they were looking for a bale to fall out of a helicopter. It never happened.
Oh, never happened, but
never happened. But
those stories exist.
Yeah,
and that's how you get that cheap weed right there on the border.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to Illinois, it's way more.
But so I got 5 joints rolled up, and I smoked the first one. I'm like, oh wow, I've never been this high.
Oh wow.
And I smoked the second one, and I'm like, dude, what?
Uh-huh.
And then about halfway through the third one, I'm no higher
than I was for the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just wasting weed.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the beautiful things about this. It's kind of like self-regulatory. Unlike alcohol, I mean, as a young person, I had drinking problems and would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, edibles ingesting is definitely a different game. I think inhaling you can only absorb so much through into your bloodstream that way.
Right.
But if you eat it, it's gonna be a different ride. If you cook those 5 joints into a brownie and ate them all at once, you're definitely gonna feel different than if you cooked the 1 joint into the brownie and ate it all at once.
Speaking of edibles, tip of the old hat to Chef Robert.
Chef Robert.
Chef Robert in Northwest Mesa fed me a tuna sandwich today.
Oh yeah.
With he seared the tuna in infused oil and then used that oil to make a mayonnaise aioli thing on it.
I've never seen a tuna sandwich made from an actual whole tuna piece.
Wow.
This was a tuna sandwich. This was
a tuna sandwich. No kidding. This was the kind of food that you'd think you'd love to have an opportunity to eat. There it is. You can see.
This is why we're later starting the podcast, by the way. But I understand. That looks like a piece of steak.
It does, doesn't it?
That is crazy. It's pretty good. It's very seared. It's dark.
It's seared with soy sauce.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's why it's dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, it definitely looks like steak. Very neat. So that's why you are medicated and delayed.
Right.
Right on.
We thought it was just the delay for the live streaming, but no, it's actually
there is no
the
lag.
Tuna.
There's no
It's the
lag in
tuna.
this broadcast. We are streaming at high speed. It's just Michael himself. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man, that's awesome that you got to enjoy that. It's really cool that we're in a state. If you have your medical marijuana card, that you can actually do those type of things. You can share amongst patients and cook something like. This is my cannabis that we are sharing today, but you have your medical marijuana card, and it goes against my limit, but you get to at least enjoy that portion of it.
Well, right, and one of the things that I've noticed with edibles is you really can get more mileage out of.
Oh yeah. 100 milligrams is pretty good for me. I get those yellow candies, and I get a bag of them. Eat the whole bag. So I'm gonna snack either way. So might as well have something with weed in it.
Gonna snack either way.
Yeah, so now my candy has switched to medicated candy. But the 100 milligrams, like for $10, and dude, one will get me through the whole day. Sometimes like I'll take one before I go to sleep. I'll eat a whole bag, and then I'll wake up medicated. Like I'll still wake up just like like I won't have to smoke that morning. There's no wake and bake type.
There's some times that I have woken and found that I can't get my vision to focus like I want. So I take a undo.
Oh yeah.
Plug for undo. That stuff really works.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Once again, we're wasting weed.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
For that.
There are times that I've driven down a street and found it was a dead end and had to back out. So
yeah, well,
that kind of thing.
I'd rather hit the undo pill for that in life, but I don't know if I want to undo the reason I'm there.
Right.
I don't know. I get it. It's good for those people who do get too medicated. And on edibles, like we're talking about, that can happen. And an undo pill would definitely help with that situation.
That's one of the things about edibles, since it takes so much longer to fully metabolize. Like, it stays with you through most of your sleep. You may have gone to bed at one point and woken up at a totally different point.
Yeah. And as in point A and point B in the room.
Right.
Yeah. No, different points in time, definitely. Yeah. Man, so what's the signatures at right now? Do you know how many you got gathered?
I don't know. I'm just a volunteer traveling around.
We're not a volunteer anymore. You're official.
Well, I'm as a collector of signatures. I'm just a volunteer.
They don't give the official the information.
No. But me on my own.
Yeah.
I've gone out. I'm mostly doing things through the week, a lot of political things, and try to set up a table and see what the reaction is for signatures on the weekends.
Right.
And with that slack of a schedule, I'm over 300 signatures.
Wow.
And there's people who are being paid to do this that, that's their job.
So how many?
This is a weird kind of, like, I've been collecting signatures for candidates, for other ideas in the past, outlaw dirty money, save our schools, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You hold up this sign, and people just appear.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, stop the car in the parking lot and jump out. Come, tell me more.
Yeah.
It's an issue that Arizona has been waiting to get relief on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I don't know what their total is. Like we said, we talked about the number of signatures right now with that long time frame of collection.
Uh-huh.
So whole fall, winter, spring, beginning of summer. I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about how many places can I get to outside of Phoenix to get people interested in
Right.
this thing.
That's what
That's
really
what
what
I
it
work
comes
on.
down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have are they looking for gatherers outside of Phoenix? I'm sure they are, but are you getting very many responses outside?
I'm getting volunteers that want to, collect with me. And God, there's a whole page of them here.
Are you emailing them? Are you
No,
collecting them?
these are people that I actually have talked to in
Okay.
person as I travel around.
Are they down though? Are they? Do they have the petitions yet?
Yeah,
okay.
these are all people that have received petitions.
All
I
right,
got
man.
okay, and I live in Mojave County, so there's Golden Valley, Kingman, Peoria, Scottsdale, Catalina, Santan, Chandler, Vale, rural North Phoenix, Prescott, Kingman, Peoples Valley, and Buckeye so far.
Well, nice. So they are. You're getting a lot of interest. There's some in Phoenix. There's some around Phoenix, but there's a lot of outside too. You're sounding.
Yeah, I'm. I love you, Phoenix, and definitely everybody in Phoenix. If you don't know how to get in touch with me, the number is here. Another chance to show that sign.
Look
Can
at
you
that.
believe it?
So
Okay, see that number right there, 928-234-5633. Light up those phone lines now.
yeah,
And I'll tell you more, but
that's your cell phone, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, you don't light them up right now because we're on the air.
Oh, I have it face down and off of my body,
right,
silent. Yeah. Right, folks, I love you, Phoenix, but I'm a rural person in a state that's rural, and I want to make sure that the rural people get brought along into our wonderful bubble.
Yes.
So, most of the events I'm trying to schedule are outside. Like I have something come up in Peoples Valley. I got something coming up in Yuma. Adding as I go.
Right on. What kind of events are you going to?
Well, I'm going to political party events so far, and then I'm creating, I'm calling signing party music festivals.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Are you just getting your guitar out and putting the sign out?
Well, it's a little bit like that,
Okay.
but I find a local sponsor, somebody that's ready to let me do it at their place.
Right on. So at least there's not a corner.
Right.
There's a location that people can come to.
And
Okay.
that way I can do small towns, and there's buy-in.
Right on.
I'm working on Prescott, Kingman, Bullhead City, Quartzsite, and Parker right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
So, and it gives me an opportunity, the western part of the state. It gives me an opportunity to gauge the community's interest, figure out where folks actually gravitate, and what kind of social media or media I need to communicate there to get an effective event.
Talk to me about being a signature gatherer in these small towns. Now, when I go to Quartzsite, it's a fucking street. There's there's a McDonald's on one end and a gas station on the other end, and there's a couple of there's a vacant hotel that has a restaurant in there, and then a couple of little rock shops, and then the Chamber of Commerce is the smallest building there is on that street.
You missed the Dollar General.
That's new. That's new since I've been there. They were building that last time I pulled in there, and it was not open because I tried going into there last time we went through.
So yeah,
and it was not open yet.
In small towns, unless it's a major tourist attraction that attracts Arizonans, the Family Dollar, the Walmart, that's where the traffic is.
Okay, so you get the locals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get the locals because the tourists, I figured they're already in Phoenix and maybe they're hearing about it. Though,
Okay.
it's sad how difficult it is to communicate an idea to an entire population.
Right.
Most people just don't even know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But if there's no messaging out in the rural parts, then they'll never know. I have been, like I say, a congressional candidate twice and ran another time where I lost the primary. And outside of the educated population, there's people who live and die by politics but have no idea what's going on or have no idea how to even affect it. So as a candidate, as a rural person myself, that became like a central part of my mission on earth. So when I said to the campaign, hey, I'd like to work with you guys, I want to work on this
I got you.
They said, okay, nobody ever wants to work on that, and we lost out there. So
So now there's a spot for Mikel Weisser. Out there.
Right.
And it's in Quartzsite at the Dollar General.
Buy a rock at the Dollar General.
That's cool, man. Well, I mean, that's why I was curious. You know, when I go to these small towns that you're working in, I see these. You know, it's usually a street or whatever, and you're trying to reach the people. Most of these people are rural. They live in neighborhoods of like 20 houses or whatever. They're not really big. You can't go canvas.
Right.
So you got to find them all in one spot.
Like I said, at the in Wickenburg, I was at the smoke shop.
Okay.
And Kingman, I'll probably be at smoke shops right now. I'm just having fun with the Walmart.
Yeah.
Getting the cross section of Kingman.
I understand smoke shops, they're going to be more like, okay, I see bongs. I'm more familiar with cannabis. I'm more for it. At Walmart, you got the family coming in from church. Are you getting a little bit different reactions there?
Yeah, you mentioned the family coming in from church. I was, in fact, at Walmart at 1:30 on this last Sunday. And I'd say that a third of the people that came to me were indeed parents. They were folks that, and they brought their kid right up to the table. What's that, Daddy? Something I'm doing for.
Oh, so they were signing with the kids there.
Signing with the kids there, yeah.
So it's becoming more the norm.
Well, yeah, because there's a whole cross section of people who are cannabis consumers and don't want to be arrested. Right now, besides your own personal arrest, they can take your kids.
Yeah. So
And this initiative is going to put an end to that. It's the kind of thing that is an animating thing. It's something that keeps me up as the state director in Normal is parent rights.
Yeah.
All of my kids are adults now, so doesn't apply to me, but it certainly applies to the sad phone calls.
They're possibly going to have kids themselves. You're going to be a grandparent someday. There's all those things that great uncle. There's things out there that's going to affect you, whether they're taking your kid directly or somebody else's. And,
right.
That's definitely no good situation for anybody. Just trying to get better with cannabis, and taking your kid away is not going to make anybody in a better situation.
No.
Especially for cannabis. I know there's other situations out there that definitely need to be looked at, but medical marijuana,
exactly,
legal marijuana, there's no reason to be taking kids away for it. So that's a great effort. Definitely do not look beyond your personal needs for look beyond your personal needs for the needs of those families, those people trying to sign the petition. Now you're out there talking to these people. Are you seeing? You were doing this since 2013. Whatever, being out there with the voters. Are you seeing a better response now? Do you think there's a better chance of it being legalized this year?
Oh yes. In 12, when I first campaigned, my wife had came out in favor of marijuana legalization in 2010 when she was a state Senate candidate, and made the paper. Weiser calls for pot legalization, and it's a scandalous thing.
Right. Yeah.
And then in 12, she had never been a smoker, but I was. So I got my first medical card because I was either going to quit. No, I wasn't going to quit. So I got my medical card.
If you're going to be a candidate, might as well be covered.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, once I started having access to the marijuana community, the legal marijuana, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're involved with the people. Now you're starting to see them on the front line.
Right. It wasn't just, me in my little closet. It was also understanding how many people are sick and how many people are fantastic entrepreneurs and finally getting their opportunity, and how much beauty there is in the variation of the plant and the things you can innovate with and all that.
Now you've worked as a bud tender from since then. I mean, are you starting to you got a lot more variations of plant? You're starting to learn a lot more benefits now since you've been actually working with it, right?
Yeah, I have been in educating marijuana, and when I was working as a bud tender, that helped. But what was really significant is I spent half a year in 2017 and then 3/4 of a year in 2019 writing for marijuana news websites. What I've dug out this time is a cannabinoid terpenoid info card. This is from Desert Valley Testing. Love those guys. But you talk about learning about the medicine value of marijuana, the writing about scientific breakthroughs, editing articles by scientists, writers that work for me that, they write in science and I translate it into English. I have learned.
That's funny. So they're writing in English, but it's words that the common man aren't going to understand. So you, being the educator, break it down for the common man,
Right,
And then
yeah.
put it out there.
So, yeah, I've had tremendous opportunities to learn about all sorts of things,
Well, that's awesome,
in
man.
particular the science of marijuana. And, of course, since this is a industry-led movement, a lot about the business of marijuana as well.
Yeah, I see. I my bag. You look like you want a fresh one.
Ah, thank
Hit
you.
that big old bag there.
Wow, let's see if I can help bring this guy into size.
Yeah. Don't take it all now. If there was a possibility,
I saved most of the lung
save
for
me a
you.
hit for me.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'm looking for places to actually go, and any place. Yeah, I don't
So
mean
if
to
you-
be like almost biblical, but
if-
any place where I could get two stoners to stand on a corner, listen to me talk about marijuana
Right.
in Arizona.
So if you have a business out there and you're in support of cannabis and you've already signed the petition and want to do more, have Michael come out to your store. Have him stand out there with his sign that says "Sign here to legalize" and see what kind of customers you can bring in, not only for your business but also for legalization.
Yeah, in Wickenburg, the Wickenburg Apothecary and Frontier Tobacco are partnering to put together a booth at the annual Gold Rush Days in February.
Oh, right on.
So then I'll be able to be there and provide education to the public as somebody volunteering in the booth this weekend. In fact, that's why I'm visiting you in East Mesa. I'm on my way down to Tucson
Oh, right on.
to do two presentations tomorrow. One at NAM Jam to Sand, or NAM Sand to Jam, or some. It's for
Okay.
veterans from Vietnam to Iraq.
Huh.
It's a music festival they have there every year,
From jam to sand. Yeah.
and
Or
then
James. No. Yeah. Nam
NAM
to
Jam
sand.
to Sand,
Jam. Nam to sand. Probably.
like that.
Sand to or I don't know. I don't even know the thing. I'm just guessing. But
Right, we're
Nam to
just having
sand.
fun with the
Nam
words
to
now.
Sam jam is what I think. Jam's gonna be the last word.
Meanwhile, Green Meds is doing a fundraiser to help raise money for Tucson Lunch Kid school lunch fees. Apparently, in a city the size of Tucson, poor kids can't afford,
Right.
and they fall like 300,000 behind. So this is part of an effort to raise money towards that.
Wow.
So Normal's going to be there also. We'll be collecting these petition signatures for all the people down in Pima County who haven't had an opportunity. Saturday, we're going out to, oh my God, I'm going south of the Border Patrol checkpoint.
Oh no.
To Sierra Vista for
So-
the Cochise Growers Association.
When you go south of the border, what do you do with your cannabis? You
I'm
pre-mail it
here's the thing.
with Border Patrol.
I grew up south of the Border Patrol checkpoint,
Yeah.
and I would go to Mexico like quite often with my family, and then as a young adult. So I've crossed and dealt with Border Patrol hundreds of times,
Yeah.
and it scares the shit out of me every
time. Yeah.
In 2014, I actually had to talk about marijuana with Border Patrol and their dog and all of that, and my medical card. Yay!
Wow.
And I was released, car intact, got my weed, got my self out of there.
Wow. So the federal agents gave you your marijuana back, huh?
Right, and honored my Arizona medical marijuana
Nice.
card.
So that's good to know. So
So-
they are looking at the state medical marijuana card.
Yeah, that was 2014, and then in 2018, I had DPS talk to me about, marijuana with my card around my neck and
Yeah.
bag of weed in the passenger seat.
Wow.
And I was released.
Yeah.
I had to pay a ticket then.
Well, I told the story about
was
me getting
driving
pulled
too
over
fast.
and you picking me up because my license was surprisingly suspended that I did not know of, and I had the wrong tags on my car, and they would not let me move my car.
Wow.
And we had weed in the car that day, and I had freshly smoked some cannabis, but it just smelled really well in the car. But he let me go with a couple of warnings and a fix-it ticket, and you driving me to the store.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about this initiative is, if it should pass, the odor of marijuana is no longer probable cause for investigation of anything. I mean, let's face it, if you're Jeffrey Dahmer or an asshole, your neighbors are going to turn you in, that's for sure, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just a regular human being, you're not committing a crime. Marijuana's legal. Hey,
Yeah.
stop worrying.
Yeah, those assholes get turned in more than Jeffrey Dahmer, though. Unfortunately, yeah, he was such a nice guy. They always say, you know. Yeah, those are the guys who are making a scene. It's the weed guys.
I just had lunch with some guy.
That just fed you. But you saw the fish before it was in the sandwich, right?
No.
You were drugged in the mill.
Oh, I was drugged.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will say that
It was-
aioli should not be against the law.
You're very well.
Aioli should not be against the law.
There you go. Now, aioli should not be against the law, but a-holy should.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had enough of that.
Right on, man.
So yeah, I'm
Feeling relaxed?
feeling relaxed. I'm excited about this campaign that I'm getting of talking to people all over the state. I'm basically shooting down some of the myths. I mean, I'm 60 years old. And
Yeah.
if you go to political groups, you know what? Doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat. Most of us are 60 or something.
Yeah,
They're
right.
all old fuckers. And unlike me, who liked marijuana, if you didn't like marijuana in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, you never try it again, and you didn't realize that in the 90s,
You got
They-
better?
well, they found the actual proof that it's medicine.
Right.
Yeah, that's when they discovered the endocannabinoid receptor system. That's when
It
They-
became a science.
yeah. And until then, it was just
good
like
weed.
stoners coming
Yeah.
up with shit. I don't care what they're
Right.
saying; they're just coming up with stuff.
Right.
But no, since then it's been, a steadily growing amount of proof. It used to be there's not enough research. Now it's not enough people reading the research.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. Educate yourselves too. It's out there.
right. So that's why
Yeah.
a lot of political parties have that kind of mindset. The Republicans more than the Democrats, because for the Republicans, it's part of their "we're saving America" for a false Christian morality
Right.
that never existed.
Right. And anointing oil was most likely going to have cannabis in it. Just
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Here in Phoenix Metro, there's a testing facility called KB Labs.
Uh-huh.
It's run by an Israeli immigrant
Right.
named Boaz Lair, and,
Right.
and he named it after the cannabisum anointing oil.
Wow.
That's where that comes
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what obviously Jerusalem's been way ahead of marijuana for years, but I would definitely say centuries and even millennials.
Yeah, yeah.
millenniums.
Yeah. The people who keep count tell me that it appears in the Bible 5 times.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's definitely a burning bush involved.
Oh, yeah.
a few occasions. I actually heard the burning bush actually might be a DMT.
Wow.
Yeah, that was actually on Ancient Aliens recently. Just getting into the political to the biblical to the crazy, I guess. There was no
Yeah.
itical
Oh,
for the
wow.
crazy itical.
Right. Yeah, I spent, like many Americans, a long time growing up inside religion,
Yeah.
and really I was on my way to seminary. I was taking a comparative religion class for pre-seminary to get ready to go, and I'm like, wait,
Well, when you're in Texas,
what's
Oklahoma,
this stuff? This
that's
doesn't
it.
sound so bad.
Yeah.
And these guys, that's nice too.
Yeah.
Why are we saying they go to hell? I don't get it.
Yeah. Cut the
It just
cut the
ruined
tips of the penis
everything.
off and throw them away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, growing up in Oklahoma, growing up religious, I know exactly what you're talking about. Though you were a few decades before me, so yours probably even more stringent and less guitars. But I grew up in a Pentecostal talking to tongues.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The options were go into the ministry or go to Christian college and find your way from there. There's definitely a push for that.
Right.
But looking beyond that, and I think cannabis does help a lot of people look inside. That God is with us. It's all over. It doesn't have to be in that building necessarily too. So
Do you know that song by Sturgill Simpson?
I don't know who Sturgill Simpson is.
Okay, let me say. Okay, all you guys watching on TV,
April can pull this up.
look at Chad Olszewski's face.
Uh-oh.
He looks like Sturgill Simpson, except Sturgill a little bit older. Okay, now if you can pull up some
I'll catch
Sturgill
up.
Simpson, say on that internet page,
On the internet page there.
I will completely feel like I have validated my point here within mere seconds. But Sturgill has he's one of the America's top country performers as a stoner musician.
So the guy not known as well as Willie, but he's another stoner countryman.
Right.
Huh?
Okay. Now, if you will just show that face, you'll see what I'm talking about looking like our good buddy Chad Olszewski.
The one on the right there, the with the mic in front of him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, pick up one of those and just throw it on there.
Yeah, the ones with the longer hair and beard work a little bit better since you have longer hair and beard.
So that's where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So this isn't
She's like
too old.
Who are you talking about? I wouldn't marry this guy.
Well, he's got money. She might. She's.
He's got talent. He's like won a bunch of Grammys. And
yeah.
He has a song called "Turtles All the Way Down." And
she's not picking out any pictures.
I guess
she's calling bullshit on you.
It didn't work. Okay, I give up.
But from this angle, and as high as Michael is right now, I have.
Oh look, there's the one that. Yeah.
There you go. That's.
I'm gonna say that works for me.
Yep, if we can get it. I don't know if
it may not be. You actually spend more time with him than I do, so you probably have a better idea. But.
The internet's not cooperating with us.
That darn
but
internet.
if you can pull up Sturgill Simpson at home,
right?
I have some royalty checks coming to me.
There you go.
As a stunt double for a country music star.
Stunt double. That's what you need to do. So he's got this song that's called "Turtle All the Way Down," and in the second verse it says, "How can you make illegal something that we all make in our brain?" He's referring to cannabinoids, right? Yeah. There he is, looking like Chad, I'd say.
Unless
she's like,
pull. We're having so many internet troubles. Our Jamie's not as
But and in the third verse he says, marijuana, LSD, psilocybin, DMT, they all change the way I see, but nothing. Love's the only thing that ever changed my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, look, it might as well be Chad himself.
So he references psychedelics, not psychedelics, and of course cannabis and whatnot. That's cool.
Right.
So speaking of the DMT, the burning bush is what I was going to before. So DMT is found in plants, animals, our brains, like Sturgill says here. But the burning bush would be a way to extract the DMT from those plants, is what they were saying. So inhaling those vapors that connect into that plant. Yeah, that's how that works. That's my porn name.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chad is my porn name. Chad O is my stage name. Yeah. So, anyways, there's dead air. No laughs. I need a laugh button instead of the shut up button. I need the
laugh button.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like your Howard Stern sidekick.
Yeah,
so
I got
you
my
can program him
stuff
to say
box.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to also put out a plug to one of my side projects, A Normal Band.
A normal band.
A Normal Band. Hashtag A Normal Band. One word that way.
Is it like anormal, like atypical?
Yes.
Ah.
But it's normal, like
without an A.
Normal, right? So we do stoner music, protest music, originals. We have our next show is coming up on Halloween.
Did you bring your guitar with you?
I did not.
You're going to Tucson. You didn't bring your guitar with you?
I am going to Tucson. I didn't bring the guitar with me. I'm not scheduled to play there. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're open to playing more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a normal band because the three members, me, Peter Wilson, and Stan Wyrick, are all active or former leaders in Normal.
Nice. Not just members, leaders.
Leaders, yeah. Peter was the state director in 95 and 96. He's the guy that successfully put an end to the marijuana tax stamp that they used to do here in Arizona. No, we can get a zoom in on.
We actually have the tax stamp. We can get a zoom in on that by doing this.
There you go. So that's the marijuana tax stamp. Actual specimens from the back in the day there, and they used to not just throw you in jail for having marijuana, they would tax you for the marijuana that you had also.
So, but you would have to buy the tax stamp to grow the weed first.
Right.
In your mind to be safe, not any other safe of the word. No other meaning of the word.
Yeah.
Besides their own mental protection, those did not really exist.
Right,
Because
right.
what happened was Peter went and bought those stamps.
And then they chased him down, and when he had the weed, they arrested him for it.
They
First
knew who
time.
the grower was, and
Right.
they waited for the shit to grow.
First time he went to court, the charges were dismissed. So the next time they charged him 10 times.
Wow.
It made all the way to the New York Times, just to say, I saw the rhyme there. And one of those 10 charges was child endangerment, so he pleaded guilty to the others to have that one dropped.
Wow.
And they would not let him discuss the marijuana tax stamp in that case.
They wouldn't let it bring up, just like they do with the medical marijuana cards in some cases at the beginning.
Definitely back
Yeah.
in the day, yeah. And that's how that was. He was not able to bring up the marijuana tax stamp. That led to injustice, which led to a civil court case that
Right.
threw out the tax stamp entirely. But he still had to wear, Sheriff Joe's pink underwear and live in a tent in 115 degrees.
For how long?
9 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. So
Well,
you
I
did
was
Tent
there.
City. Do they still have Tent City?
No, the Sheriff Joe Paul Penzone got rid of it when
Nice.
he got elected in 16. Yeah.
That's cool. So there's plenty of room in the jails for the people. to
Right,
begin with.
right. You don't have to live out in the tent. It turned out it wasn't any cheaper to put people out in the tents anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just more cruel.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
more cruelty.
Yeah.
No savings whatsoever.
Wow. Yeah. Do they get more than a bologna sandwich now?
I don't know. I'm doing my best to not do an inside expose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's funny when I started doing actual, large scale political activism. That thing in D.C. I go to D.C. and the national importance. This political activism.
Right.
And they're at the front lines of the Capitol, surrounded by all these riot police. Are people walking up to the riot police one at a time and
Hand them
getting
flowers?
arrested?
Oh, getting arrested. Voluntarily getting arrested.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I spent 30 years not
to get
getting
arrested,
arrested
yeah.
for weed. So, yeah.
So are those people voluntarily getting arrested and taking cops out of the front line?
No,
No.
it's just it is to burden the system.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it keeps that many cops off the front line. At least not at that event. That was a anti-war protest. I think it's in September of October in 2007, and there was 85,000 protesters there. They put 300 in jail, but
Yeah.
it's DC. They had space for that.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. So they were voluntarily clogging up the system, but they were just really causing themselves more pain.
Of course, if you get arrested and convicted, I guess, of civil
political,
disobedience, it's not the same as getting arrested for a joint.
No, you're not going to fly for a while.
Right.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more issues. You're gonna have a lot more fingers up your butt in life.
Right.
Yeah.
And the cavity searches.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes,
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
meant to be really metaphorically. I meant really in life, you're gonna have more fingers up your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are. It's time for me to be taken off down to Tucson. Yeehaw! We're gonna go
You did this
change
last
the world
time.
in Tucson.
Why do you always close out my show? This is my. No.
Ah!
No. You cannot take over the show. I do not feel like this is the end, my friend. You cannot just walk out of here
This is
and
the end, my
and just
friend. No,
no.
okay. This is we're in the heading towards the end.
All
phase.
right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you
So-
can get in the show, Michael. If you want to call it an end, we can call it an end. But for everybody out there who does want to get involved, hit up Arizona Normal. Go to their Facebook page, Arizona Normal. Go to Arizona in Normal or normalinarizona.org. There's Michael's cell phone number there. You can put it on bathroom walls. Get him all sorts of nice texts.
For a good time.
Yeah. So 928-234-5633. Contact him directly. Get on the list. Get
Yes.
involved.
We are making this a statewide movement. If you live in Phoenix, lead the way. If you live in Beaver Dam or Somerton or Portal or Cayenta, I want to see you too.
Yes. Get involved, people. Everybody who wants to see a better life should get involved with cannabis legalization in one way or another. At least sign the petition. If not, get more signatures for the petitions or host a petition at your store.
Right. We'd be happy to have any excuse. I have this guitar, and I used to go around the state singing Take It Easy, Stand on a Corner in Winslow, Arizona, in Kingman, Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. let me sing this song and run it in your town as well.
Yes. So take it easy with Mikel Weisser. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're out.